The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
In the words of Joe B, another disgraceful performance by our football team last night. Joe B's joining us in his weekly spot. It's the Jake Asman Show, and it starts right now. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. What a disgrace it was last night, and joining us right now to react to all of it in his weekly spot on the show is legendary sports talk show host and, of course, the host of the Oh the Pain podcast, Joe Benigno, joins us now. Joe, wow.
What a brutal night. Bro, Jake, all I can say is this was Sunday, Bloody Sunday, to quote you two. This was a disgrace. I mean, you know, I got the Jets on the TV. I got the Mets on the radio. It was not a good night. Let me say this. As a Met fan, I can't really be too upset with my baseball team. I mean, they gave me a year that nobody saw coming. You know, they ran into a better team. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Dodgers, you know, they scored, 37 runs in the 4 games they won. The Mets could not get a big hit. They had the bases loaded twice last night, couldn't get a run in. But it was a tremendous year. I think we're really set up with Stearns and, you know, with Stevie Cohen and Stearns and Mendoza. I think we're set up for sustained success with the Mets. I can only hope. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll re-sign Alonso. Hopefully they'll make a bigger run at your guy Soto. And we'll see what happens. But hard to be too upset with the Mets. That is not the case with the Jets. This was a disgrace last night. Bro, they're sailing along. They're up 15-6 in this game. You're feeling good about it. Rodgers is looking good. You know, they get that touchdown. You know, and Brees has that big catch and run down to the 3-yard line. They get the touchdown with Conklin. They get the 2-point conversion on that bogus penalty. They're up 15-6. And then the game turned around in the last 2 minutes. Rodgers throws this terrible pass into triple coverage. It gets picked off. They get a touchdown off of that. And that turned the whole game around, bro. Let's be honest. Turned the whole game around.
And what was so pathetic, Joe, this team is made of glass. They get punched in the face and they fall. I mean, that pick by Rodgers was brutal, but for it to spiral the way it did when they were up 2 scores, 15-6, and to lose 37-15. I mean, this team is they have no heart. I mean, they're soft. They get punched in the mouth and they fall. I mean, that was pathetic last night on so many different ways.
And then they're still in the game at 16-15. And Rodgers puts the ball right where he has to the great Garrett Wilson. Okay, I'm tired of hearing how great he is. And he doesn't catch the ball and then compounds it by bouncing up in the air, and a guy picks it off. He takes it down to the damn 1-yard line. They punch it in the end zone, and that was really it. Oh, but we had one more moment, and that was the kicker, who's got to go now. I've had enough of him, getting the freaking field goal blocked. And, you know, I mean, what else can you say? I mean, this team. You know, I've talked about this endlessly, Jake. You can change every aspect of this franchise from the owner to the uniforms, and everything just stays the freaking same. You bring in Devontae Adams. Now you got Reddick coming in. You got rid of the coach. By the way, I got to say this. This Jeff Ulbrich, he looks totally over his head. I got to tell you. He looks completely over his head as the head coach of this team. After the game, the one thing that he did at least sound ticked off, because Salah never sounded ticked off. You know, loss after loss. You never thought Salah was mad after the game. This guy was ticked off after the game. I at least give him that. But he looks like a deer in the headlights as a head coach, bro. He really does.
And we're seeing this defense now just get completely decimated with injuries. And you needed the offense last night to pick them up, not score 15 points. I mean, when they were up 2 scores, they had control of the game. And for this team just to let it slip the way they did, I mean, it's embarrassing, Joe. And every week it's something different. 1 week it's the run defense. 1 week it's the pass protection. 1 week it's they start slow, but then they go on a run and it's too late. This week they start fast, and then they fall apart in the second half. They're just a bad football team right now. They're 2-5, and I don't care about how easy their schedule is, this or that. This team, until they win at least 3 in a row, I don't want to hear a word from any Jet fan being optimistic about them turning this season into something. I mean, they look like their record. They are a bad football team right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to say it. I mean, how else can you say it, bro? I mean, the defense, and look, the secondary is everybody's hurt. I mean, Michael Carter's out, DJ Reed's out, Clark is out. They got all these guys. They got guys playing on defense I never even heard of. How about that play with this guy Oliver with Pickens down the sideline when he knocks the ball up in the air 4 times, and then Pickens comes up with the catch? I mean, how many times? I mean, they never force a turnover. Never force a freaking turnover. They still can't stop the run. I'm tired about hearing how good Quinnen Williams is. Can we stop hearing about? You know what Quinnen Williams is turning into? He's turning into Muhammad Wilkerson. Let's be honest. That's exactly what he's turning into. He's gotten paid, and what has he done? Even Quincy Williams. Did he even play last night, Quincy Williams? Did he make a tackle? I mean, it didn't even seem like he was on the field last night, bro.
It's just I really don't know where they go from here either, right? I mean, they went all in this year to try and win.
Yep.
You're talking about an interim coach. The GM now is 29-61. Are we going to let him hire another coach after this year?
Joe Douglas is done after the year. Come on, you know he is.
Yeah, but then Woody comes out and says this is the most talented team in 25 years, which to me lends to the GM having maybe more of a leash than we think. I mean, I don't even know what to make of where they go from here, Joe. This was supposed to be the year. I mean, the Bills are not that great. You look at you look at this division right now. You look how watered down the AFC is. It was all right there for this team to at least end this god awful playoff drought, the longest in North American sports, and they're nowhere close to being a playoff team.
Nowhere close. I don't know what else to say. There's always something with this team. The offensive line actually wasn't bad last night. I mean, Rodgers didn't. I think they sacked him once. He really didn't get killed. He didn't get beat around like he's been.
TJ Watt didn't kill him. Morgan Moses did a nice job on him, and they still lose. It's like it's unreal.
Yep. Vera Tucker got hurt again. What a surprise as he walked. I don't know what the deal is with him. And then the kid Newman, they got to take him off on a stretcher. They got him on the, they had him strapped in. I hope he's okay. I haven't heard anything about it, but
he traveled back with the team. So
that's good. But it's the same old. I mean, really, the Rodgers interception turned the game around. The Garrett Wilson non-catch finished them off. I mean, that's pretty much what happened. And it looked like they mailed it in. I got to tell you, bro, from after the kick gets blocked, Zerline, and we got to get a new kicker in here. After the kick gets blocked with Zerline, it's like they mailed it in the rest of the way. It's like they stopped playing after that. This was a disgrace last night, and you see the difference between, probably the model franchise in the NFL over the last 50 years as opposed to the worst franchise in the NFL over the last 50 years. I mean, that's pretty much what you saw. You saw the thing on NBC before. The Steelers have had 3 coaches since 1970. Every one of them has won a Super Bowl. There's 6 Super Bowls, 8 appearances. The Jets have had 18 head coaches, bro, since then, and haven't even sniffed getting back to a Super Bowl. It's an absolute disgrace.
They're going to need a new head coach this offseason because
I want Rex back. I'm going to tell you right now. I want Rex back, bro. And Rex would walk back to take this job. I want Rex. We need an attitude here. I know people talk about Mike Vrabel, whatever. We need a guy that's going to kick butt and take names. We need a guy that's going to give us an attitude again, give us an edge. And I'm telling you, that's the guy I want. And if they don't make the playoffs, Woody's cleaning house. Douglas is gone. He's gone. Come on. There's no doubt about it. He's gone. And Woody's going to clean house. And I want Rex back, man. I want the identity of Rex Ryan back coaching my team. I really do. I maybe I'm nuts, but I do.
Well, you're a Jet fan, Joe, so of course you're nuts, just like
I
am.
That's a fair point.
I don't know why we do this to ourselves.
Jake, thank you for reminding me of that. I appreciate it.
But my thing with someone like Rex is, like, if you're going to go down that route, like, what's the plan for the play caller? What's the plan at the quarterback spot? What are they doing with Rodgers beyond this year?
Rodgers going to stay?
Right,
if they don't make the playoffs, is Rodgers coming back? Rodgers looks to – I mean, I don't know where Rodgers is at. I mean, he certainly does not look happy, and he's got to take responsibility. I mean, let's be honest about it. Well, I mean, come on. He's basically running the team. Look at this team right now. It's a disgrace.
No, it's not good enough. And if you go down that route, right, even if it's not Rex, to me, they really have two options with coach. I want your thoughts on this. Like, you either hire someone who's that has experience, because I can't do the first-time defensive coordinator route again. Like,
no. They got to bring a coach back. You got at the least, you got to give me Mike Vrabel. That's seriously.
Right.
If you're telling me it's not Rex Ryan, then I got to have Mike Vrabel's got to be the guy to me.
Or it's got to be, if you're going to go down the first-time coach, right, it has to be an offensive guy. And like the one time they tried to hire an offensive guy, they bring in Adam Gase, which is a joke.
I know.
You know,
I don't want any new. I don't want any new head coach, bro. You know what? I don't know. I'm tired of that too. I mean, come on. Every time we bring a guy that hasn't done it before, look, Rex did. I mean, obviously, but and how about Bowles too? Bowles now, he's winning games in Tampa. I mean, Sam Darnold's winning. They lost to the Lions yesterday. He's winning games in Minnesota. Gino's winning games in Seattle. I mean, you can't. After a while, you can't take it anymore, bro.
I think about bad teams the Jets have had and like some of the miserable seasons we watched. And Joe, this one hurts maybe more than any of them because of all the hype for last year. It's ripped away after 4 plays. We get excited. We all thought this team was really talented, and we come into the season and they're 2-5. They're as bad as last year was. They were 4-3 last year. This team is 2-5 with an easier schedule than they faced last year.
Yeah. With Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. I mean, they still really can't run the ball. I know Brees had a couple moments, and really most of the damage he did was catching the ball out of the backfield. But I just don't know what to say. And the defense isn't any good. This defense, I mean, this defensive line is a shell of what it was. There's no John Franklin Myers. Johnson's out for the year. They got rid of Bryce Huff. Solomon Thomas stinks. Clemens stinks. Kinlaw stinks. We go right on down the line. You get nothing from Quentin Williams. It's like he's not even on a team anymore. You don't even know he's playing. The secondary's all banged up. I mean, what is there, bro? Tell me what there is, because I don't see it. Tell me.
Pain. That's it. It really is unreal. And I want your thoughts on this, Joe. So Rodgers last night at his press conference says it felt like the energy, and it starts with me, the energy for whatever reason at halftime was a little flat. It's almost like he throws that pick, and this entire team is like, well, we had our chance. Now we expect to lose. I mean, they have a glass jaw. For them to be up 15-6, that pick leads it to be 15-13. It felt like they were actually down at halftime, not up 2.
Yeah. No,
and then come out, and the Garrett Wilson drop leads to another touchdown, and then that was it. Like, they get punched in the mouth, and they're frauds. They're poorly coached. They have no heart. They're soft. There's nothing about this team that resembles anything close to the team we thought we were going to see this year.
They're in major trouble. I don't know how else to say it, bro. Hassan Reddick is not going to save them. Devontae Adams is not going to save them. Aaron Rodgers is not going to save them. This team is in major doo-doo. This is shaping up, when you consider what the expectation level was, when you consider who the quarterback is, when you consider all the moves they've done to try to make this team better. This is shaping up as arguably the worst season they've ever had when you throw all that into the mix. And where do they go from here? I mean, is Rodgers coming back? Who's the quarterback going forward? Do they have one? I mean, forget about the coaching staff. Do they have a quarterback? They're going to have to draft a quarterback in the first round next year. Where are we? We're nowhere, bro. Nowhere.
Yeah. Joe, I think you have to draft a quarterback, right? I mean, even if Rodgers is here, like he's going to be 41. He has not looked like himself for a lot of this season. There's some good moments, and then he's obviously not what he once was. The mobility is clearly not there, which we knew.
Right.
Like, to me, we're talking about, Rodgers being here. Is he going to want to be here if there's a new GM, new coach? Like, would he just retire? Like, everything is under discussion today. This team's 2-5 with this schedule. Like, there's really nothing you could point to and says, hey, this is the record, but they got this coming up. Like, they're going to beat the Patriots, and that's going to make me feel better. Like,
well, if they are. I mean, the Patriots are. They certainly didn't look good yesterday in London, but I mean, the Patriots are sitting there 1-6. Who knows? I mean,
they're looking at the Jets like a get-right game.
What? Right. Right. Exactly. Who could we beat right now? I mean, we're playing just pitiful football. I mean, and no other way to say it. I mean, I don't know what to say right now, bro. I really don't. I'm at a loss for words after this disgrace last night. I really am.
And it's just like they add Devontae. Now they add Hassan Reddick, and it's like it just rings hollow. Like this fan base is just down, John. I'm telling you, doing this every day, talking to these fans. This season is doing irreparable damage to the psyche of the Jet fan. Like, we've been beaten down before, but not like this. Not with the expectations, not with the hope we had with Rodgers 2 years ago. And to see it amount to 2-5 with him being out there, it's just bad as it's been being a fan of this team. It really is.
Look, I mean, bro, I've been a fan of this team since freaking 1965, man. And 56 years is a long time ago. And, it's unbelievable. I mean, we haven't even winning season in almost 10 years. I mean, there's only so much you can take. The incompetence is just everywhere. And I think, look, I like Woody Johnson as a person. Okay. There's certain things about Woody I really like, which have nothing to do with football. But as far as a freaking owner, he's a terrible owner. He's been a terrible owner of this team. And I know he's trying. I mean, I give him credit for, making the moves that he's made. I think he's gone over Joe Douglas's head here to make these moves. And it's just not happening. It's just not happening, bro. Not happening.
If you're watching live right now, we're talking with Joe Benigno. Check out his podcast, the Oh the Pain podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Joe joining us in his weekly spot. Joe, I know you said you were going to come to our next watch party. I'll give you full permission to not have to go and watch Jets Patriots if you don't want to be there, but we will be there at T Squared Social on Sunday.
I'll give you a definite as the week goes on, bro. Right now, I'm probably still coming, to be honest with you.
Wow.
So we'll see. I'll let you know definitely by the end of the week, but probably you got to give me the coordinates again for this disgrace coming up.
That we will. If you're watching live right now, Joe's joining us, weekly spot. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks to everyone who stayed up late with us last night on the post game show.
Have you slept yet? You go to bed yet, or what?
A little bit, Joe. It's hard to sleep after these games. They're doing.
I went to bed. I you know what, bro? I watched a little of the Met post game because the Jet post game was not on on SNY because of the Mets. So I watched a little bit of that, and I actually cut out of the Jet game just to see the bitter end for my baseball team, but at the end. But I mean, I don't know what to say, man. I'm so we got 10 games to go.
That's what's insane.
Think about it.
10.
We got to do it 10 more freaking games of this garbage. Where do we go from here? What's going to happen? Is Rodgers going to ultimately get hurt again? I mean, this is what I see happening. I mean, where are we going? Vera Tucker gets hurt here again. Everybody in the secondary is hurt. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm dumbfounded.
I don't know. I don't know where they go either. I mean, the fact that there's 10 games left, and Joe, this team is back in prime time in a couple weeks.
My God!
I mean, it's fitting they're wearing the black jerseys against the Texans because that loss will definitely end any hope you have.
They're wearing black against the Texans. Well, it's Halloween night. They should just wear masks. You know what I mean?
Maybe they can dress up as
come out with a different mask on Halloween night for the disgrace that's going to be.
Maybe they could dress up as a.
Remember last year we actually beat Houston in the last big game by Zach Wilson that he ever had. I'm sure Houston's going to come in ready to stick it right up our rear end, and they're good. They're sitting there at 5-2. I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm beside myself right now, bro. They lost a tough game yesterday to the Packers. By the way, the Packers. How did the Green Bay Packers go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love? They don't miss a damn beat. And let me say this too. I was always down with the Brett Favre year. We thought was horrible, but we were 8-3 at one point in that game in that year, right? We looked like we were rolling. We were 8-3 until Favre got hurt, and then we crapped out, finished 9-7, and didn't make the playoffs. This year, I mean, we're on our way to like a 5-12 year. The way it's going, it's unbelievable.
I wish that we could just say to the NFL, no more primetime games. Because when the Jets are bad, it's not like we could just be bad like the Titans and be irrelevant or the Jaguars. Everyone's going to know the Jets are bad. We're in front of everyone. We're in primetime. Like I wish the Jets could go back to the classic Sunday at 1:00. Let us be bad on our own. I can't do it anymore. These late nights, watching the team lose in front of the whole country, openly getting mocked by everybody. When does it end? It never ends.
No, and deservedly so. I mean, like, bro, it's a disgrace. I don't know what else to say, man. I've been through the ring. I've been a Jet fan since I was 12 years old. Outside of 1 year, they basically have given me nothing but heartache, and it's as bad as it ever was. I mean, right now we are as bad as we've ever been. The state of this franchise is as bad as it's ever been. Let's be honest about it. We got no head coach, right? We got all these big name guys on the team, but you know what? We're not a team. We got we got all these big name guys, and you could talk about this guy on a roster, that guy but we're not a football team right now. We're not a cohesive unit in any way, shape, or form.
It's just, even the most negative Jet fan or the biggest Jet hater could not have anticipated 2-5.
No.
It's a new level of disappointment. And Joe, I said this last time on my postgame show. I don't care whatever they do going forward. As a Jet fan now, I'm at a point, I don't know if I could ever really be that excited going into a season again, knowing this franchise is possible to do it.
I never go into the season too freaking excited.
Now I get it. I'm the one. I look like an idiot.
Times.
I'm telling you, hey, they got the talent. They won 7 with no quarterback last year. At the bare minimum, this is at least a 10-win team. And it's like, I can never believe again after this year. I'm done. I can't do it.
Why should you? Why, bro, you can never be excited with this team. You're always waiting for the shoe to drop. Something is going to happen, right? Something always happens. I mean, last year, the Rodgers injury, 4 plays into last year, that could only happen to us. What other franchise could that possibly happen to with something like that? There is nobody else. And then when he's healthy and he's playing, he stinks. I don't want to put it all on him, but where are we with this guy? We're no better than if Zach Wilson was the quarterback. I long for the days of Mark Sanchez, to be honest with you, right? At least we won with him. We had winning years with him. We went to championship games. This is beyond the pale anymore, man. It really is. It's beyond the pale.
It's brutal. And like everything we thought with this team, right? Like no one, I think, was expecting, Rodgers needs to play like an MVP. It was, they're going to have a really good running game. They're going to be able to protect him. Mm-hmm. And in some games, that hasn't been the case at all. Other games, it's like the defense is the reason why they're losing. They can't stop the run. And it's just like each week, it's a new thing why they're losing. Last night, Garrett Wilson's supposed to be a number 1 receiver in this league. His drop directly leads to the turning point of this game. And it's just, it's everything. The previous game against the Bills, Brees Hall has one guy to beat, can't get in the end zone, score a touchdown. Tyron Smith, Hall of Fame left tackle, holding penalty that wipes away a touchdown that would have won the game. Greg Zuerlein can't miss for 2 years. Now he can't hit anything with his team is supposed to be. Like, it's every week, it's something else. They find new ways to torture us. They can't just be bad. They got to find a way to be bad in spectacular fashion. And I can't do it anymore, Joe. I really can't.
And you can't even kill the officials last night because there was very few penalties in this game. It was the complete opposite of what we saw in the Bill game. I'm not sure who the officials were, but they did a pretty damn good job because there was not a lot of penalties in this football game. So you can't even point to that and say, oh, this is a bad pass interference call or typical crappy holding penalty. You can't even go there in this game. That's how bad it is. And to lose to the Steelers again, and I can't look, I got all the respect in him. Mike Tomlin's the best coach in football. You can say whatever you want. We were all criticizing him. I was for starting Wilson over Fields, and Wilson starts, and it looks like, it's 2013 again with freaking Russell Wilson. You know
what's crazy, Joe? Like, and the people that were at this game were calling into my show last night saying the same thing. They were ready to boo Russell Wilson off the field at the end of that first half. And then the pick happens by Rodgers. Right. All of a sudden, it's only a 2-point game at halftime. And then they settled in. The better coach team made adjustments, and the Jets got boat raced. But it's like they were this close to being able to land the knockout punch against the Steelers, and they let them off the hook. And that starts with Rodgers throwing that brutal interception there.
No question. There's no other way to say it. This game is on him. I got to put it on him. And Wilson too. And now, like I said, now you got Vera Tucker out again. This guy's hurt every year. I don't know what his injury is or how long he's going to be out every year. And it's, we're out of words, bro. And we can go on and on and on. We're talking about the same thing over and over again.
It's brutal.
I don't know what to tell you. Where do we go from here?
I don't know. Some super chats coming in for Joe. We'll rapid fire through them. Salem says, the only thing saving me from losing my mind is the fact that the Yanks are in the World Series. Let's go, Yanks. At least I have that, Joe.
You do, and I don't. I will say this, that I do want – I hate the Dodgers. I can't stand the Dodgers. Everything about them. I hate California. I don't even – please. I don't want to get into all that, but I do.
You're not taking a vacation there soon, Joe?
No, there's no way I'm going there. All I can say is, good luck to them. Beat the freaking Dodgers. I have no love for the Yankees, but beat the Dodgers. I don't want to see those bastards win the World Series.
I'm actually surprised you would root for the Yankees over the Dodgers. I was saying this to you off air because like to me, you got to deal with the Yankee fans all over your life. So like the Dodger fan, I know you hate them, but you don't have to see them.
There's only you can't. Even the Yankee fans can't really kill me as a Met fan after this year. You know what I mean? I you could say whatever you want about the Mets. I'm sure a lot of Yankee fans are happy they're not playing the Mets. I'm sure they don't want to be part of them. Yeah, I'm sure most of them do. But and I get that. But so I mean, how much can they kill me? My team had a terrific year that nobody saw coming. So you could say whatever you want. Like I said, the Mets lost to the better team, but go out there and beat the Dodgers because I can't stand it. I can't stand Ohtani. I can't stand Mookie Betts. I can't stand Freddie Freeman. I can't stand this guy. What's his name? Tommy, whatever it is that killed us in this series. Tommy Edman, who destroyed us in this series. I can't stand him. I mean, what else can I say? Go beat him. Let Aaron Judge get his championship. I got no problem with that.
Cincy Matt writes, and I've watched a lot of bad football being a Bengals fan. There was always one or two glaring holes to point to. With these Jets, it's new things that seem to pop up every week. How do you fix a talented team who implodes on a moment's notice? I mean, I think it all starts with coaching, Joe. I mean, no matter what they do going forward, they need to get the head coaching hire right because they haven't gotten it right in 15 years.
Yeah, no, of course. They haven't had a good coach since Rex. I mean, that's the last guy they had. And, we probably should have never got rid of him. He should have never fired Mike Tannenbaum, and he should have never got rid of Rex. But that's, ancient history now. It all starts with that. You don't win in the end. Everybody talks about the quarterback, and I agree. You need a quarterback, but you need a head coach. Even more important than a quarterback is the head coach. I mean, you look at Pittsburgh right now. They don't have any. Ben Roethlisberger is not the quarterback there anymore. They don't have a Hall of Fame head coach there, a quarterback right now, and they're sitting there 5-2. He's winning. He's winning with the combination of Fields and a really over the hill Russell Wilson. And that's a testament to who I think is the best coach in the NFL, Mike Tomlin. I mean, what else can you say? What else can you say about it? It all starts with coaching. You look at Andy Reid. Of course, he has the best quarterback in the world in Patrick Mahomes. But and it's I hate to use the word culture, but it's a culture of winning. How do you get that winning culture where you go out there like the Chiefs and expect to win all the time? You go out there like the Steelers and you expect to win all the time. You go out there when the Patriots were having their run and expect to win all the time. I mean, how do you get that? How do you get there? Aaron Rodgers has come here and he was supposed to change the karma. Aaron Rodgers has been engulfed by the karma. You know what I mean? Like the Jet karma has overwhelmed Aaron Rodgers. It's not Aaron Rodgers coming in and changing the Jet karma. You know what I mean?
Brutal. If you're one of the 2,117 people watching live right now, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks to everyone for helping us reach over 39,000 subscribers earlier this week. Make sure you guys check out Joe's podcast, the Oh the Pain podcast, where you can get your podcast.
A lot of pain today.
Okay. The name is very fitting. Philip says 25 years of this garbage. It's Woody at this point. It's an incompetent owner. When that changes, the culture changes.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. I mean, that's, you look at this franchise for the last, 50 plus years. It's really about the owners. Leon Hess was not a good owner. I mean, he was a great man. The guy could negotiate, oil deals with the guys in the Middle East, with, Saudi Arabia and everything that he did over there. He's unbelievable. There's no doubt. He was a great man, but he was a horrible owner. And it wasn't until the end when he realized he wasn't getting any younger and he decided, boy, I'd like to win at some point, that he brought in Parcells, and it was too late at that point. It was too late. Parcells couldn't get us over the hump either, and it was too late. Now Woody takes over, and he had early success. When Herman, we had some good years, 3 years in the playoffs with Herman. We had the success with Rex, and now it's just gone up in flames again. I mean, the ownership has been terrible. No other way to say it. I mean, all these guys he hired, whether it was Bowles, whether it was Gaze, whether it was Salah. I mean, these guys none of these guys have worked out. It's just, I don't know what to say, man. The quarterback hasn't worked out. You tried for the quick fix with the quarterback. That didn't happen. None of it's happening, man. None of it's happening. No other way to say it. The owners, he's right. The owner, we have had terrible ownership for the better part of over 50 years now. There's no doubt about it.
Betty writes, and I was bricked up, now I'm limp. I hate this team. Bang Mateo says, Quentin Williams, the contract year hustle strikes again. Yep. Blitz says, the model franchise versus the Modelo franchise, because Jet fans need a beer or 6 to stomach the football games. Ace Tag
You
says,
know what you need? You need. I hate to say this. You basically need heroin to watch these games. You know what I mean? Either that, or you want to just basically be sedated. You know what I'm saying? Just give me sedation watching this crap. You know.
I 2-5, man. Even the most
negative
Jet fan could
look at this.
Thought this.
Right. This guy. Go ahead, read this quote here. This is pretty good.
Ace Tag Super Chat says, most insulting part of the game was when Jeff bobbles the challenge flag. Collinsworth chuckles and says, "Gotta love the Jets." Talk about mocking. Yeah, it's so true, because even the one good drive they have where they executed the red zone, they scored a touchdown. I mean, they basically got a break that the challenge didn't actually work in that spot. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and then you got to hear Collinsworth basically after the game or late in the game as they're getting pounded again, saying, well, I want to be positive. I still think this team has a chance to make a run. What are you talking about? We got the runs. The only run we're making is the runs that we have. We're running to the bathroom because we can't take it anymore. I mean, it's coming out. It's coming out both ends if you're a Jet fan. You know what I mean, bro?
Well, Joe, you don't believe in the Jets here in the AFC standings. They're in 12th place, baby. They're what? The 7th seed right now.
Look at those powerhouses that the Jets are ahead of right now. I don't even see New England. What are they? I guess New England's down there somewhere.
Hey, you want to see New England? This is where New England is. They're below the ticker.
Yeah, there they are.
Oh,
I mean, it's just unbelievable. You just can't make it up, bro. You just can't.
Jack writes in, my friends all tell me I'm going to be Joe B when I'm older, and it's so true. I mean, Joe, I usually try to be like more positive and optimistic. I can't do it anymore, man. If not this year, then when is this team ever going to win?
Yeah. No, look, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, well, yeah, I don't know why anybody would expect anything different from this franchise. I mean, this is what we've gotten forever. They fooled us early in the year. They fooled us with that win in Tennessee. They fooled us with that win over New England. And now we're right back where we always are. We're right back in the same, crap hole that we always are with this freaking football team. 2-5 and going nowhere. And like I said, this season, if this spirals into a 5-11, not 5-12 even, not even 11, 5-12, 6-11 type year, I mean, this is as bad as it's ever been, right? This is as low as it could be. I don't see how it gets any lower than this. I don't know
who'd want to come in and take this job then. Like you don't have a quarterback. Like what's the direction of the team? Like we're going the draft again, and we got to sit through another 3 years of a guy not being any good, and then we move on from him, and then we try the quick fix again. This cycle never ends. Yeah,
no, it doesn't. And I'm sure Rodgers is going to say, I've had it. Why would he want to come back and play next year again for this team if they really go into the tank? Why would he want to do that?
And we even want Rodgers back at that point. He's going to be 42 at the end of next season. He's not playing well right now. And it's like, what's the plan? I mean, it's just brutal.
Maybe Rex wouldn't even want this job. Maybe Vrabel wouldn't want the job. Maybe the only guy you could give it to is another first-year former coordinator that more than likely will turn out to be terrible. I mean,
that's what happens.
Somewhere Robert Saleh is smiling. There's somewhere Robert Saleh, he's hanging out with his buddy Mike McDaniel, or he's hanging out with his buddy Shanahan, and things aren't going so well for Shanahan these days. But, maybe he's hanging out with one of his old buddies there and just laughing up a storm as he watches this crap team.
Now, Joe, have you spoken to Saleh at all since he's been fired?
Absolutely not. No, and I'm sure I won't. So, absolutely not.
So you weren't the person that filmed him leaving Whole Foods in Madison, New Jersey?
No, I did not. I was not there at Whole Foods. No, I shop at ShopRite anyway. So
did you see that video?
I did see it. Yeah.
Okay,
I did see it.
I wanted to make sure you saw it. Dan writes in, let's rapid fire through these. Woody's the permanent cancer at the top of this team. Derek writes in, our D looks awful since we fired Saleh. Thoughts? I mean, maybe Ulbrich does need to reassign defensive play calling to someone else on the staff. Maybe he's being stretched too thin. I mean, the defense the last 2 weeks has not been the same defense. Now, I think part of it's because they're decimated with injuries now. Maybe Reddick helps a little bit, but I mean, it's everything should be called under question at this point. Everything should be up on the table for changes.
And the defensive line is not the same, man. Look at these stiffs on the defensive line that are playing major minutes. I mean, you got Clemens, you got Kinlaw, you got Solomon Thomas. You got guys I never even heard of on this defense. Who's this guy Watts? I never heard of this guy. Who's this other guy that was playing in the secondary? Mills. I never heard of these guys. Where are they? Where did they come from? I mean, these are the guys playing on this defense. You get nothing from Quinn Williams. You get nothing right now from Quincy Williams. I mean, this defense stinks. This is not a good defense right now. I mean, who's kidding who? Let's be real. They never force a turnover, bro. Did they ever get a goddamn turnover?
Nope.
Never.
Never fall on a fumble, ever.
Never. Right, never. That's exactly right. It's the same old with them. It really is.
Jets carpetbagger. How the Jets have a worse record than with Zach Wilson coaching? Yeah, it's coaching. I mean, it's just they beat themselves. I mean, Zerline last year won them a lot of games they were not supposed to win that they stole, and he's killed them this year. I mean, that's a big part of this.
Zerline's been a major factor. He's missed 5 field goals this year. I don't think he missed 5 field goals the last 2 years.
No, he missed 3 only all last year.
Right, he killed them. He you could look at it. He directly cost them 2 games: the Denver game and the Buffalo game. And he didn't cost him yesterday, but he missed another field goal. I know they blocked it, but I mean, come on, get the damn ball up in the air and make a kick. He's shot. You got to get a kicker in here. There's no doubt.
Absolutely. Joe Lou Holt said maybe we need a fight song.
The fight song. That's the answer. Maybe we could all hold hands before the game and sing Kumbaya. And how much we all love each other. And maybe we can do it that way.
I'm going to skip ahead with the super chat because this one I think is pertinent to what we're talking about here. Grimace worked for the Mets. Is that Hamburglar available for the Jets? We are at that point of desperation.
And boy, I don't know. The Hamburglar. Grimace did work for the Mets. Maybe we need a little OMG. Maybe we need a Jet to come up with some kind of song like Jose Iglesias did, and maybe that'll help us. I don't know.
Would you sing the song?
Maybe we need Carlos Mendoza coaching the Jets. I think that would be a big help. I'll tell you that.
I mean, maybe Giancarlo Stanton can rush the passer for the Jets.
Oh my God! How good has he been for the Yankees?
God,
wow.
Vincent writes, and it's wild that Herm Edwards has the most winning seasons by a Jet head coach in the last 30+ years.
Yeah. Well, he did. He took him to the playoffs 3 times. I mean, it wasn't pretty. I mean,
you want a positive spin, Joe? Last time they won the division, the Jets started 2-5 that year.
That's what you're right about that. That was 2002. That's when he made the switch from Vinny to Pennington, and things really started to take off from there. I don't see how that's happening this year, bro. I just don't. I don't see it. I really don't. You had a young quarterback in Pennington that was just beginning to.
He sat for a couple of years, like he learned.
Right, he sat for a couple of years. That's exactly right. Now we got a veteran quarterback who, let's be honest, looks like he's over the hill. I don't want to say he's completely shot, but he's not the guy. This is not the guy he was in Green Bay a couple of years ago. Let's be honest. Even 2 years ago.
No. My thing with Rodgers is he's clearly not what he once was, but 7 days ago, I thought he played pretty well against the Bills and others failed him. It's like he's just not consistent anymore. Like he'll give you moments, but he's no longer the guy that throughout a full game could carry you for 4 quarters. I think
it would help if they could run the ball better because they really can't run the ball. Your offensive line played better yesterday as far as the pass protection, but they really, really cannot run the football. Let's be honest about it.
Bang Mateo says, how ironic is that Arthur Smith said F you with that last touchdown? Yeah, but we know the Jets tried to hire him. Bang Mateo says, Joe, please tell me we can't pay Sauce $30 million a year.
No, you can't. Sauce is overrated. I mean, come on. I know they don't throw the ball that much to his side. You don't know if he's out there. But I mean, the guy never comes up with an interception. What's so great about him? This guy, he's not a pimple on Darrelle Revis's ass. I mean, come on now.
And they don't use him properly.
He's no Patrick Surtain. I'll tell you that. He's not even close to being that. Let's be real.
Jets carpetback. Even my Steelers friends were shocked they won. Text from Steelers friend who was shocked they won. Jets have been underachieving, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean.
I don't know. If you're a Steelers fan, how could you ever be shocked that you won? I mean,
you win every year. You're good every year.
In any game, your bad year. Your bad year, you go 9-8 or 10-7, and you make the playoffs anyway. I know they haven't won a playoff game in a while, but come on. Tomlin's got you there every year, no matter who the quarterback is, no matter who's on the team. I mean, come on. Please. There's just last night was like I said, you had probably the best franchise in the NFL over the last 50+ years playing the worst franchise in the NFL over the last 50+ years. Let's be real about it.
Maurice, would you hire Mike Tannenbaum again? Because clearly we're cleaning house, I believe he means.
Yeah, I would, as long as Rex is the coach. I would bring back Mr. T and Rex together and see what happens. I would definitely give that a shot again. Yes.
I mean, it'd be better than what they currently have, but I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, Tannenbaum was brutal at the end of his run.
Look, probably not. But would I do that? Yeah. Why not? I'd give it a shot.
Omari writes in, we're the 2012-2013 Lakers with Dwight, Kobe, and Nash. Big names past their prime. If Rodgers is stationary and the O-line can't protect, we might have to go to Tyrod Taylor. 6-5 ending November. One thing they're not doing, Unless Rodgers gets hurt,
Well,
there's no scenario they're benching him for Tyrod Taylor.
no, they're not. No, that's right. And please don't ever compare the Jets to the Lakers. I mean, yeah, that's after the Lakers had won 5 championships. From 2000, when they won 3 in a row with Shaq and Kobe, and then the 2 they won with Kobe and Gasol after that. So I don't, please don't compare the lowly piece of crap New York Jets to probably at this point, maybe, I guess the Celtics, the premier franchise in NBA history. How can you can't do it. What are you doing? Come on. Yeah, we'll take a bad year like that after we won 5 titles. Yeah, okay. All right,
Must be nice. Yeah, it must be nice. The GM's 29-61. Why expect anything but pain from this lemonhead goofy GM? We can't get rid of Rudy, so pointless crying over him. I mean, look, I've said this about the Knicks, Joe, and you're a huge Knicks fan like I am. Like James Dolan. Yeah, but like my point is like James Dolan didn't finally figure out how to become a good owner. He just eventually hired the right people. He hired Leon Rose, who hired Thibodeau. They got a huge break with Brunson being way better than anyone could have. Like, you know what I mean? Like the owner's job is to spend the money, hire the right people, and stay out of the way. Woody just can't hire the right people. I mean, Douglas has done some good things, but he hired Salah, and that obviously has been a major bust. He drafted Zach Wilson. Like the big things he needed to get right, he has screwed up, and that's why this franchise is kind of rudderless right now.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it. He hired Salah, disaster. He hired Wilson. He drafted Wilson, disaster. He drafted Mekhi Becton, disaster. He drafted Denzel Mims, disaster. And even these guys. I mean, look, Will McDonald looks like a decent player. He gets a sack every now and then. Outside of that, what does he do? What's he doing, right, as a number 1 pick? And these guys that he drafted, this big draft. I mean, I'm watching Wilson kill us with that non-catch last night. As good as Breece Hall has been. How many times do we see Breece Hall? I don't want to blame it all on him. Get hit in the backfield for a loss. Jermaine Johnson's banged up now. He's out for the year. I mean, Vera Tucker's constantly hurt. I mean, what is Joe Douglas? What is he really giving us here, bro? Let's be real about it.
29
Sauce Gardner's overrated. Sauce Gardner's overrated. Let's tell it like it is.
Eddie says, do you want to see Mangini as the GM and Bill Cowher as the coach?
No, Bill Cowher's never coaching. That's not
come on. See, a team that's talented with a 2-5 record is indicative of coaching. Plain and simple, we're a headless snake right now. Talent only gets you so far. They're talented with no leadership, and they're soft. They get punched in the mouth, and they fold.
Yeah. Now, Albrecht looks like he's in over his head. I mean, he was a decent defensive coordinator. He does not look like he's an NFL head coach. I'll say that.
Jordan says, how does the all-world corner not travel with George Pickens? Also, the run D's been bad since Salah got here. Terrible scheme. Also, O-line is atrocious.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, the O-line last night at least didn't get Rodgers killed in the game, as they have been. You're right. I mean, why is not Sauce on their best guy all the time? Why is this guy, whatever it is, Mills covering or Oliver covering Pickens? Why?
Especially last night when you already don't have Reed, you don't have Carter. Right. They only have one really good receiver in Pickens. And it's just they beat themselves. They don't utilize the talent they do have on that side of the ball.
If Rex Ryan was here, okay, you would have, when Reed is healthy, you would have the 2 corners playing single coverage, okay? You'd have Gardner playing your best guy, and you'd be seeing them blitz constantly. They would blitz constantly. I think they blitzed a little last night, but, they really got limited pressure on Wilson, and a few times they did. He actually got away from the freaking pressure a number of times. Horrible.
25 says, got so drunk that I woke up drunk at this team. So 25 actually fell asleep waiting on hold to call into my postgame show last night, Joe. The Jets almost killed him last night. I watched it in real time.
Yeah, well, just watch how much you're drinking. Thank God I don't drink,
We were hoping to be able to have that glass of scotch if the Jets won a championship. I feel like that's not happening this year.
I got a bottle of Beefeater. I thought I was going to get a chance to open it up with the Mets. That's not going to happen. There's one other thing that may be happening in a couple of weeks where I will be opening the Beefeater if that happens. And I most people probably know what I'm talking about. I actually feel pretty good about that one right now, to be honest.
So the hype and hoopla is jet-like, but you actually think it's going to pay off this time.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about what's going to happen 2 weeks from tomormore.
All right. Nate,
and I have the Beefeater at the ready for that. And that's really the most important thing. It's more important than the Jets, the Mets, or anything. So let me just say that.
Nate says mistakes have been brutal on both ends. Sauce, G5, dropping easy balls to change the game, missed kicks, flags, etc. But as long as we don't have an O-line/D-line that performs, can't win if we can't run or stop the run.
They get beat. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, this team gets beat on both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage in just about every game. So I would agree with that. Just about
Dre,
everything.
JETS, just end the season. Joe B is crazy thinking we can win 5 games. F this team, burn it all down. I don't care anymore. Does Joe B like the Knicks? Of course Joe B likes the Knicks.
Yes. Look, the Knicks are going to have a good team. Will they win this? Look, the Knicks and the Rangers are both good. The Rangers are off to a good start. They're 4-0-1. They're playing terrific right now. Panarin, Kreider, Shesterkin. I'm excited with them. But, it's the regular season. They got to win. They got to win it all. Same thing with the Knicks. They got a good team. They're in the playoffs now. I love what they've done. I'm not crazy that they had to get rid of DiVincenzo, and I don't know how I'm happy I am about Karl Anthony Towns. We'll see. But like you said, the Knicks are being run now by actual people that know what the hell they're doing. And that's the difference. The Rangers and the Knicks are run by people that know what they're doing. Even if they don't win it all, they're there all the time. That's not the situation we have with the Jets. The Jets has just been constant incompetence, bro. Constant incompetence.
The Jets carpetbagger. Even the Bears are winning. I need ammonium AD.
Even the Bears. Well, they got a young quarterback. The Bears have a young quarterback. We don't have that guy. The Bears have a young quarterback. The Commanders have a young quarterback. He got hurt yesterday. How about that? Marcus Mariota comes in the game for the Commanders yesterday, and they put, now the Panthers stink, but they put 40 on him. Dan Quinn's got that team sitting at 5-2 right now.
They're going to win the division.
See that coming, right?
Vinny C. Jets need a head coach with a proven resume. Owner needs to stop treating the job like it's entry level. I agree that the next coach needs to be someone that has done it. I am tired of these guys coming in, being in over their head, and learning on the job. It's enough. I want to win. This team hasn't made the playoffs in 15 years.
Look, to me, if it's not Rex, it's got to be Mike Vrabel. That's it.
If the Browns fire Kevin Stefanski, I take him in a second because he's an
I would take him too. And how about that? Deshaun Watson done. Tore his Achilles yesterday. The worst contract in professional sports history. Look, it's hard to feel bad for Deshaun Watson. The guy's got $240 million guaranteed, which is a freaking joke. He's had his issues off the field, which is a disgrace and all of that. And and he goes down with this injury. So you don't want to see people get hurt. But boy, oh boy, you look at the Cleveland Browns. They're actually a bigger disaster than we are. You know what? They should have kept Joe Flacco, to tell you the truth. Yeah. They really should have.
Couple minutes left with Joe, so last chance for your super chats. Dark Knight Steve says the fire sale's coming. Watch what happens if we lose to Houston before the deadline. Start looking to 2025 when the cycle of disappointment repeats. I mean, I don't know if they could trade anyone because they made the move to get Devontae. And now you're going to trade. I think this is the team, and it's going to be one of the more disappointing seasons ever if it just continues this way. I think that's where we're headed.
I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where we go. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Can they beat the Patriots this week? I mean, they stink. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore.
They've broken us.
I don't know what to think anymore. I'm numb. I'm so disgusted with this football team. There's no other way to say it.
New Jersey says maybe Belichick could come save us. Yeah, good luck.
Belichick's never coaching. No, I don't think Belichick's ever coaching again, and he sure as hell will never coach the Jets. You know that. He hates the Jets.
King and Dream says, big up to Joe and Jake for remaining positive. Positive. Am
I positive? I'm positive. I don't know if I'm sitting here being positive. I mean, I don't see where it's going to happen. What's there to be positive about? Tell me what that is.
We're just being real. It's just like, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And we got to laugh at the ineptitude.
Right.
King of Dreams is a Laker fan. Jets don't compare. Yep, Joe, you were on that. FV says the game made me yell at my kids, and I don't even have any.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah. Why would you ever want to make your kid a Jet fan? Why would you want to do that to the kid?
Well, you know what? I'm doing that to my future kids, Joe, because my dad did it to me. It builds character, right? We're not letting them off easy. Is how I look at it. Right. Knob Deep. We all knew this was how Rodgers' experiment was going to work out. We hoped it'd be different, but in our hearts, we knew this is our curse. I really didn't feel that way. I felt like going into this year, they won 7 last year with the 32nd ranked offense. I expected this O-line to be better, this running game to be the catalyst for the offense, and Rodgers to not turn it over. All these things have not happened. So it's brutal.
How many picks is he throwing now? 7?
7.
What is he at? 9 touchdowns, 7 picks? Is that where he is?
He's at 10 touchdowns, 7 picks, which, by the way, here's how pathetic the Jet quarterback situation is. It is the first time since, I think, 2018 or 2019 that a Jet quarterback has reached 10 touchdowns in the season.
Wow. He's on line to throw almost 30 touchdown passes, and we're still gonna be terrible. How about that?
He's pacing for, I think it's 24 touchdowns, 17 picks right now.
Yeah,
which is not good enough. I mean,
well, 24 touchdowns. That's like, the Jet record for touchdown passes is held by, of all people, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who threw 31 one year, which is stunning when you think about it.
Unreal.
He's the only Jet quarterback ever to throw 30 touchdowns in a year. Namath didn't even do that. The most he ever threw was 28. It's mind-boggling.
Jet Carpetbagger changed the O-line coach. I changed everyone, man. Everyone's gone at the end of this year.
It's more than just the O-line coach. It's more than him.
Story Lynn, what do you think about Obrick still in communication with Salah? Very weak. Steelers are super mid. Most likely it's the Chiefs or Ravens this year.
He is still in communication with Salah? Is that true?
I don't know where Story Lynn got that from. I mean, they still text and stay in touch. I mean, it has no bearing on the team.
Yeah, I don't think Salah's giving him pointers. I mean, is he? It's not helping if he is. I'll tell you.
It's not working.
No.
King and Dream says, bring Rex back. Team needs an energy boost.
I'm with Rex all the way. You know how I feel about him. Yeah, let's go. Tannenbaum too. I'd be all in with that move. I'd be all in with it.
Stephen Craig, can we please get rid of all the preseason hype once and for all? The team needs to prove to the fan base they are worth rooting for. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I was saying before, Joe. Like, I can never get excited about another Jet team because, I mean, it's just even if you were the most negative fan, you could not have thought this team would start 2-5 with the schedule. No way.
Look, we are the most beleaguered fan base in sports. You can't get more loyal fans than we are, and yet we get just kicked in the ass year after year after year. I mean, there's no other way. They can, like I said, bro. I hate to go through my mantra again, but it's so true. You can change the owner, you can change the coaches, you can change the quarterback, the players, the stadium, the practice facility, the uniforms. It don't matter. The results never change. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable.
Two more for Joe, Jimbo, and the Browns went to the playoffs before us. The Browns and Lions are now the Lions especially.
Hey, the Lions, let me tell you right now, the two best teams in the NFL are the Chiefs and the Lions. I mean, you want to tell me about Baltimore? Okay, Baltimore's up there. But to me, the two best teams in the NFL right now are Kansas City and Detroit. That's my feeling.
You want to laugh? 25 says, is it bad to say I would take Adam Gase back?
No, you wouldn't.
Oh,
no, you wouldn't take that.
Joe, I appreciate you doing this. I mean,
we'll talk to you during the week. We'll be in touch during the week. Right now, I'm planning on making the appearance, bro. Like I said,
T-Squared Social.
I'll
make sure Mayor Adams is there for you, Joe.
Mayor
Adams,
hang out with him. Love me. I actually like Mayor Adams. I don't want to get into the political world, but there's a couple things that bother me about him. Sometimes he plays the race card too much, but I do like Mayor Adams. He called out the federal government, okay, with the illegals, and now they've indicted him for it. So, I don't dislike Mayor Adams. He certainly is a lot better mayor than Bill de Blasio was. I can tell you that. Not even close.
Joe, the Pay podcast. Tell people when the next episode's coming out.
That will be today. Probably later. My daughter's here now. At some point today, you will hear my the Pain podcast. It'll be a lament on the Mets, and it'll be a beatdown of this crappy football team that we root for.
Joe, let's go Yankees.
Yeah, well, I wish I could echo that. This is not exactly my. You could not have a worse World Series than what we got here. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I know Fox is happy. I know MLB is happy. I know the Yankee fans are happy. Go beat the freaking Dodgers, okay? Go stick it to them. I hate LA. I hate California. Go stick it up the Dodgers' ass, all right, please?
We'll do our best, Joe. Thank you for doing this. I will talk to you this week.
All right, bro. All the love.
All the love.
Hang in there, Jet fans. Hang in there.
The great Joe Benigno in his weekly spot on the show. Check out Joe's podcast, the Pain, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Reminder, we're on Apple and Spotify as well. If you want the audio version of this show, just search the Jake Asman Show wherever you get your podcast. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. We are approaching 40K. The goal is to hit that number hopefully soon. Because win or lose, we will be here regardless, Jet fans. So thank you all for your support. I'm going to post the call-in number. I'll stay on for a little while longer, and we'll do some calls here as we react to one of the more darker seasons in Jet history so far. I know there's still going to be some who are going to try and spin it forward. How can they turn it around? Beat the Patriots. I can't go there, man. Even if you were the most negative Jet fan, I mean, to see this team at 2-5 and where they are in the standings is about as painful as it gets. And I don't know what the future is. I don't know who the quarterback is next year. If they go full rebuild, Rodgers won't be here. If they clean house, Douglas is gone. A new GM's going to come in and want to build it his way. Like, I don't know. I do know they need to hire the right coach, but who's hiring the coach? This GM who's 29 and 61? That just sucks. Jake and rest of the channel laughed at me when I begged for us to fire Sal and hire Dan Quinn. We'll beat the Pats and lose to the Texans and win out. JJ, your super chat is very confusing here. But look, Dan Quinn's done a great job. I give you credit. I didn't want another defensive coach was my big thing. Like, to me, if you're going to hire another coach, if it's a first-time coach, it needs to be an offensive guy. If you're hiring someone with experience, like, yeah, I guess Dan Quinn would work, but I wasn't the biggest Dan Quinn guy, right? His team in Atlanta fell off every year once Shanahan left after they blew the 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. He's done a great job, though. I can't argue it. I don't know. I want Vrabel. I want Stefanski. I want someone like that. Someone who's won before. And if you're going to do the first-time play caller, it can't be a defensive guy. First-time coordinator. Should be Ben Johnson. Write him a blank check. I don't think he'd want to come here. But, I mean, that's what I'd be looking at. Ignacio with a $1.99 here. Thank you. 80s shock. Jake, let's admit Nick Wright was right. We apologize. I mean, I don't know about that one. Because the goalposts always move with his takes. And being like the anti-Jet guy, like more times than not, you're going to be right. But Nick's takes on the Jets are not based on like info. It's based on he hates Aaron Rodgers because he can get vaccinated. That's where it all starts. Like, he's on the record saying some team's going to get an awesome receiver in Devontae. And then he goes to the Jets and it's how he's over the hill, he's washed. Won't move the needle. So it's like, that's just your take because he's a Jet. So, I mean, all these guys, it is what it is. It is what it is. They're 2-5. I mean, there's really nothing you could say right now. They're 2-5. All right, Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is open. Before we get into that, let's shout out two of our awesome sponsors, Joe DeVizio Realty and his team, sellwithjoe.com. Jet fans, if you're thinking about selling your home, Joe and his team are the best to do it. Sellwithjoe.com or call 959. Call Joe. Anywhere in the tri-state, Joe and his team can help you. And if you're trying to book a vacation, consider Kentucky, the bourbon trails of Kentucky. Go to custombourbontours.com right now, and you could book your vacation. You could go out there, and you could experience the greatness that is the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. Pick the vehicle you want to travel in. They offer flexible zero-interest payment plans. If you're a bourbon lover, this is for you. World-class, safe transportation. You could do all this in 5 minutes and experience the beautiful Kentucky Bourbon Trail. Comments, questions, super chats, keep sending those in. We'll get to your calls. Henry writes in, lack of heart and fight in this team hurts the most. I mean, they're made of glass. That was my take watching this. They got punched in the mouth. Rodgers throws that pick, and instead of anyone picking him up, they melt. It's 15-13 at the half, and Rodgers afterwards is talking about how he got a sense the energy was flat. How do you come out flat in the second half when you got the ball to start? When your season is on the line, how do you come out flat? How does that happen? How is that possible? It's embarrassing. First up on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline, go to gusbuster.com, by the way, and use promo code Jake to get the best umbrella in the universe. 20% off is the hamburger. He was at our watch party last night, so we're going to start off with one of our great listeners. Hamburger, great to meet you in person, man, despite the game.
Yes, man. They've definitely had a great time last night. Meeting everybody, getting to know some people there. Listen, man, 42 years, I've never seen something so bad. I don't even know what to say. They didn't show up. They didn't show up at all. They died in the second half. For them to go in the locker room and come out flat is, to me, is absolutely fucking amazing. That's on coaching. That's on Albrecht. That's on everybody. I said 2 weeks ago that I didn't think they should change, like that Joe Douglas is going to stay, but at this point now, I'm fed up. I want them all to go, and I'm not somebody that likes them rebuilding the franchise and doing all that. But it's time. It's time. Clean the shit out. I cleaned my jerseys this weekend. The stench is still on. It doesn't matter anymore. This team is done. I don't expect them to win more than 4 games. The way that this team is performing and playing, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't even think they're going to beat New England next week. They are so flat. I don't care that Reddick is coming in. They are so flat. It's abysmal. Like I said in the chat, we are a Ferrari kit on a fucking Fiero. That's what we are. We are a piece of shit. That's what we are. We're glorified. We look great. All the players, we got all the players in the world. We can't play. Can't perform.
No.
So
they're soft too. It's so disappointing, man. They just this fan base is so passionate, so loyal, so ready to support a team that is good for once. And
I feel bad for all the younger Jet fans that haven't had at least some kind of winning back in like 2010, 98, things like that. What you guys have had, someone that's been in here for 14, 13 years, you've had nothing. And I don't know how you're still a fan, but God bless you, because it doesn't get easier.
No, this is as bad as it's been rooting for this team. Because in the past, it's like what the problems are. Yeah. I don't know what the problems are with the team. It's everything. It's not one thing. It's ownership. It's GM. It's coach. It's quarterback. It's O-line. It's D-line. Every game, it's something else. It's like you think they solved one problem, and now something else hurts them. And I think what really hurts, too, is some of these players we were counting on to be leaders on this team have failed them this year. I mean, I love Garrett Wilson. That catch cost him a game last night. That lack thereof.
Absolutely brutal. I just want to touch on Rex Ryan does not belong coaching his team. If you were here and you remember how that ended, like, let's be real. Like, are you going to go back to your ex-girlfriend that you guys didn't get along with back in the day? No. Let's not go back. Let's find a new coach, somebody that has coached before, an offensive-minded coach. I can't deal with the new hires that have never coached before, defensive-minded head coach. It doesn't work for us. I don't remember the last time we had an offensive-minded head coach. Do you?
Yeah, Adam Gase. How'd that work? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, they try to hire an offensive
coach.
Yeah, but here's my thing, right? They try to hire an offensive-minded coach to help Sam Darnold get to the next level. And this moron ownership group, Chris Johnson made that one. He brings in Adam Gase and then has the audacity to tell us fans, we hired Gase because he's coaching football to where it's going. It's just unreal, man.
He might be back again. All depends on 2 weeks from now. Woody might be gone. And then we're back in that same situation. So for me,
it's brutal.
Woody, sell the team. Sell the team. That's my feeling. Sell the team. Steve Cohen, buy the team. I would love Steve Cohen to turn this organization around. But with that being said, man, again, it was great meeting you. Great meeting everybody last night. And keep your heads up.
Hamburger, great to meet you, man. Shout out to your daughter as well. I know she watches the show, you were saying. We're doing it again on Sunday. Joe B will be there. So come meet Joe B and commiserate with your fellow Asmaniacs. We'll be at T-Squared Social. Win or lose, it's fun. Be nice if they could win, though. I mean, if they can't win this week, when are they winning again, man? How bad is this going to get? They're 2-5 right now. Once again, even the most negative of Jet fans could not have predicted this bad. Maybe you thought 9-8, 8-9, disappointing. 2-5. This team was 2-1 25 days ago. They looked so good getting to the 2-1 mark that a question was asked to Aaron Rodgers about not looking ahead and staying focused. And Rodgers gave the quote about how they have to learn how to handle success. Remember that? That was 25 days ago. They were 2-1. I left MetLife Stadium as happy as I've ever been, leaving that shithole. And now look where this franchise is going. They're going nowhere. Dre, save Connor. Let him be a Ravens or Texans fan. It's too late, man. Connor's hooked. Cactus Johnny, my son was 6 months old, our last playoff appearance. He's now a freshman in high school. Feels like child abuse making him a fan of this team. It's brutal, man. There's no other way around it. More calls right now. Nate was at our event last night with his friends and girlfriend. Nate, thanks for coming out last night, man. Sorry it sucked.
It was a hell of a time. My friends from Brooklyn came. They were like, "This place is amazing." Like as soon as they got there, all the screens and audio. They wanted to watch the Liberty and the Mets and the Jets. It was great, and he wanted to be in the Mets section. So
Hey, congrats to the Liberty, by the way. Good for them.
hell yeah! Shout out to Liberty fans. Jake, will I be seeing you at the Liberty parade?
Are they doing? I'm not trying to be an asshole here. Are they actually doing a parade for the Liberty?
Jake, I have no clue. I was not trying to be an asshole either. I don't know if it's in an alley somewhere for their. I have no clue. But yeah, shout out to the Liberty. I was actually at the first ever Liberty game my parents brought me to. I still got the little keychain. I wish we could talk about the Liberty more because it's tough talking about our football team. Like you said, and you just brought up that Rodgers quote. He actually said in that quote, the biggest thing we have to worry about is handling success now, or the hardest thing. I think he said the hardest thing we'll have to do is handling success. Little did he know. I said it in the super chat, Jake. The O line and the D line, like that's it, until like okay, dropping passes, Rodgers not playing the best, sauces, blah 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 blah. If we can't run the ball and we can't stop the run, nothing else matters. Like if you can't get to the quarterback, that also has to do with the D line. But we're not able to run the ball and we never stop the run. Like why can't we make Bo Nix beat us? Why can't we make Sam Darnold beat us? Could you imagine, Jake, if we had like a defense from 2 years ago or a Rex Ryan defense? Imagine if we were able to stop the run versus Denver, Minnie, and Pittsburgh. How would those games play out? If you stop Javonte Williams, if you stop Najee Harris, if you stop Minnesota and you make Sam Darnold beat like I don't get why we can't change up the scheme too. Like I've said a tons of times, why like it's not working. What we're doing is not working. They can run it down our throat when the whole country knows they're running it. They had 1st and 10 from the 12 after a big Najee Harris run. They ran it for another 10. Last play of the game, they ran it for like it's a joke, bro. You can't run our defense unless we have 4 Pro Bowlers. It seems like on the line. Like you can't do it with Michael Clemens and LT3 with 4 guys and think we're going to stop the run. It's not possible. Like we have to do that. And I'm not saying that the season's over, not over. I don't want to talk about any of that. I just want to talk about Patriots game. The next month, I want to see us do something to change to be able to stop the run and run the ball. I think last week, if you look at like PFF, we almost switched back to the zone scheme from last year. We ran like 13 zone scheme runs and 8 or 9 gap scheme runs, and we actually had a good game on the ground. I don't know what we did last night, but we need to do stuff. We need to change. Like Downing changed it immediately when he got here,
well,
and he made changes to run the ball.
The Bills aren't very good against the run. They entered that game on Monday, allowing the most yards per carry in the league. Last night, Pittsburgh's top 3 in run defense. That's what happened. They played a good run defense, and they couldn't do it because they're not good.
You're right, but at least the coaches changed something. Or you know what I'm saying? At least Downing said, "Let's do this." And
Maybe
I
they
get
did
the
it
Bills
last night. It didn't work. I haven't looked at like how they ran those plays yet.
Yeah, no, you're. I mean, yeah, you could be right. I didn't watch the all 22. My only other take too is that like as much as we have some great guys in the locker room, right? And Rogers was saying like, yeah, we need to not listen to the media and buy in and collectively like I think it's possible, but as much as I was a guy that's like, oh, JD brought in so many great personalities, we got these great guys on the team, but like we're playing football and we have no nasty dudes on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes back to the O line and D line. We've got no dudes that that guy in Buffalo we all hate, but he's a dick. We need some dicks on our team. You know what I'm saying? Like people told us Simpson would bring some muscle. Like we got too many fucking nice family guys that are going home to their kids and worrying about like I need a dude who's ready to just like we need some nasty on the O line D lines. That's the main crux of my call. Just change. Ulbrich got to change something. It's your one shot. You're never gonna. This is your one shot to be a head coach. Change something. Do something. This is it. It's the solid scheme is not working with who we got. It works with Joey Bosa and Javon Hargraves. It doesn't work with Michael Clemens. And unless Hassan Reddick is going to turn into a major run stuffer, why would every team? I said this often. Every team is going to run it down our throats, bro. Every team is going to run it down our throats and play action and like keep Rodgers on the sideline and win time of possession. And God forbid we have a 3 and out and then Rodgers touches it once. We have to be able to stop the run. We have to be able to run the ball. It sucks, man. At least your Knicks start tomorrow.
Great. I appreciate it, Nate. Good to see you last night, man. It's just, I care too much. We all do. That's the problem. 2-5, man, with this team. I understand, obviously not as good as we thought. 2-5, though. Come on, man. They were up 15-6 last night. It looked like the Jets were going to blow them out. They had a 2-score lead against Russell Wilson. He's not built to come back from that. And that pick by Rodgers, just that ended the season. I didn't know it at the time. They still had a lead at halftime, getting the ball to start the third. And what do? They gag. Pittsburgh Mike, who was at this horror show last night. The sad part is the rest of the schedule is winnable, but I came to imagine this team winning another game. I mean, right now, the only thing they need to do is win one game. That's it. Beat New England. I'm not telling you that solves everything. It doesn't. They got to do way more than that. But, I mean, this is spiraling. If they lose to New England, I don't know when they're winning another game. And it's crazy. As bad as the Jets have been, for whatever it's worth, they do have the easiest schedule the rest of the way. I think right now the New York Jets only play one team on their schedule, Buffalo, that has a winning record right now. But the Jets aren't any good. Well, I guess actually two teams because they have Houston as well. You know what's crazy? Not that I put too much stock in this. ESPN's analytics say the Jets have a 47% chance to still make the playoffs. I mean, they suck, man. They're killing this fan base, man. I really believe this season is doing irreparable damage to this great fan base. Michael Levinson is up next. Hey, Michael.
I gotta tell you, I've been rooting for this team since '78. I think this is the worst I felt since then. I mean, with all the expectations, I just don't get it. Okay, even if we made the playoffs because our schedule's easy, it's just fool's gold. It's not going to mean anything. I mean, I just don't get it. And it's funny. You have that watch party next week, and I hate driving into the city. I don't do public transportation, but I know Sunday morning is an easy ride. I was coming. I got to tell you, like right now, I know it's Monday, and I'll probably make it, but I just don't feel like watching anymore. I just don't get this team anymore. We had it for everything there, and I got to tell you, you know me, I was a Joe D supporter. He ruined that defensive line. I got to tell you, he has to go. I'm changing my mind with him. But it's just unreal. Like, Garrett Wilson has to use his hands to make that catch, not his chest. Okay. I was on the Discord yesterday. I got to tell you, funny. And you said, no way, call ESPN. I called. I was on the phone for 45 minutes and still didn't get in. So, I had a point to make, but
damn, I
don't know.
Wish I knew you were on hold, Mike. I didn't even see your name on the call screen.
Well, I didn't get my full name. I just said Michael, so maybe that's why, But no, I'll be calling in again. But like I said, I mean, this is just, what's going to happen? Okay, we trade a third-round pick for Devontae Adams. Now, if Rodgers goes and we blow it up, he's gone, right? And we gave up a third-round pick. I just don't get it. I mean, Reddick, what's he going to do? Not going to stop the run. It's just, and please, my last point, because Jet fans are dying here today. We don't need Gary from Texas to tell us I told you so today. Okay, we don't need that. But I don't know. This is the lowest I've been in 40 years, and I'm just done. So let's see what happens. Have a good day, Jake.
Michael, thank you. I just it's tough to feel any other way besides that. I mean, what's the future of this team? No coach. The GM's 29-61. You don't trust ownership to hire someone better than the current GM. I mean, this was supposed to be a playoff team, man. I'm not saying they had to win the Super Bowl, but this hurts more than last year. Last year, it's like you knew what happened. It was cruel. It got ripped away. They showed fight last year, man. This defense had fight. It's bad. It's bad all the way around. Who's your daddy with a super chat here? I sat in -degree weather to watch the winless Saints beat the Jets in December of 1972. I watched the Jets lose the AFC title game to the Dolphins in 82. A few more playoff games here and there, but this is just painful. Yeah. Look, I mean, they have the longest playoff drought in sports right now. Longest in the NFL, tied with the Sabres for the longest among the four major sports. And there's no end in sight. That's what's crazy. I mean, you want to still believe because there's 10 games left, but I'd be lying if I said I see it. I don't. This team is not good enough. They're made of glass. They have a glass jaw. 25 writes in, worst season I've seen in 24 years. Don't think that's crazy to say or think. There's not a bright spot at the moment. No. South End writes in, disgusted, turned it off second week in a row for the first time in my life. Woke up shaking, terrible anxiety attack. I can't keep doing this to myself. It just hurts, man. It really does. Like, it's just. Inside that locker room, they got to buckle down, show some pride, win a game, man. Win a game. Beat the Patriots, show some damn pride. It's pathetic. But don't worry, thinking is overrated.
You know, thinking is overrated.
So is winning, apparently. Seems allergic to winning. Peter Castro is up next. Peter, hello.
Hello, Jake. How are you? I know you're not
Brutal,
good.
Peter. Brutal.
There's a few. I made a few mistakes. We've all made a few mistakes. This team is way overrated. As I have been saying for the last year, this coaching staff stinks. It absolutely stinks. I don't care what you say. Yulbrick stinks. He's following the same procedure as Salah. He makes no adjustments. He doesn't. The team doesn't respect him. I got the perfect coach for this team. All right, and I'll call in other people. That will be 100. This team will be 100 times better. The coaching staff is a major problem. They have no respect. The players have no respect for the coaches, and it's showing on the field. It's disgusting. All right, Brian Flores would be a perfect coach for this team. You need somebody that's miserable to coach this team. Somebody that opens his mouth and yells at players when they do things wrong and pulls them out and makes them sit down. Woody Johnson was sitting up there last night with his wife, and I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what he's thinking. Aaron Rodgers, you're paying this guy $50 million. He's on Pat McAfee. He's on all these shows and everything else. And whatever he wants, he gets. He wants Devontae Adams. He wants Lazard. He wants it. They make no difference. I don't care who he gets. He can get Bo Diddley, and they're not going to win. All right? The defense stinks. The special teams stink. This guy, what's his name? Gibson, with the punt returns, he stinks too. And the only reason why he's on the team is because Joe Douglas drafted him. For some reason, when he drafts somebody, they have to stay there for as long as possible and not play or be lousy, one or the other. It's a total mess, an absolute total mess. And watching that game last night, I was fuming because they come out, they're flat. They have no desire to win. They're like a bunch of pussies running around that field. Girls, like a bunch of girls. They don't know what they make me sick. I mean, they're just it's unbearable to watch. For somebody like me that watched the Super Bowl 55 years ago and went through 55 years of shit teams, and this is a talented group of guys that aren't coached at all. They're not coached. I don't care what anybody says, Carter, Downing, whatever his name is, they stink. And Salah stunk, Yulbrick stinks, and they just keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And now bring somebody else in. Now we sign Reddick. What's he going to do? He's going to do nothing. It's too late. He should have been here 5 games ago to start the season. This is an absolute atrocity. It's an atrocity to the fan base, and the Jets, the players themselves have no friggin' pride. No pride. I don't see any of it.
Peter, you compared the Jets to women. The Liberty got more heart than the Jets do. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah, well, if you watch them play, they don't even know how to play the game. Does Sauce Gardner ever turn around? Is he ever going to turn around and maybe intercept the ball, or is he going to watch the guy catch it? I mean, I've had it. Every aspect of that offensive line, defensive line, the secondary, the special teams, and I was puzzled in the first quarter because they get a touchdown and then they're going for 2, and I'm saying, why are they going for 2? What was the reason for that? Why were they going for 2 at that point?
Because of the penalty. It worked. I mean, it actually was.
Okay, yeah, it worked. It worked. But I was thinking to myself, if they don't make this, they're setting themselves up for another disaster.
They set themselves up to win. They were up 15-6, and then Rodgers threw that brutal pick, and then they're made of glass, and they completely crumbled. And then you're hearing about the hat. Like, when is someone like everyone's blaming the coaching, and I agree, the coaching's not any good. But like, where's the fight from this team, man? Where are guys pissed off on the sidelines? Where are guys getting in each other's face, holding each other accountable? Like, how is it acceptable to blow a 15-6 lead and get boat raced and allow 31 unanswered points after that? It's a disgrace.
How much you want to bet this team is divided, all right? And I'm sure there's a group of people on this team that are sick of Aaron Rodgers already. They're already sick of, oh, the great Aaron Rodgers is going to do this, going to do that. He's doing nothing, all right? He's getting rid of the ball real as fast as he can because he doesn't want to get hit. Can't blame him. He's overthrowing, underthrowing, blaming everybody else. And they're not on the red line. They're not here. They're not there. We need Devontae Adams. How many catches did he have last night? 3 catches?
3 catches for 30 yards. Yep.
Wow. All right. That made a big difference in the game, didn't it?
It should have. I mean, they're up 15-6, and then if Garrett Wilson could catch, it's just like their best players are beating themselves. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Well, the other thing is now Garrett Wilson sees Devontae Adams. It's definitely having an effect on him. Just the way Braylon Allen had an effect on Breece Hall in the beginning. It's like we got a bunch of divas. They're supposed to be such great players, and they're just not playing. They're not playing. The offensive line is not playing. Did Vera Tucker go out last night again?
He did, yeah. We don't know his status yet.
I mean, it's every year. It's the same bullshit. I say clean house, get rid of all of them at the end of the year. You got to get rid of all of them. Get them out of here. And you got to come in with a coach with an attitude. It's either got to be Grable or it's got to be Brian. I would take Brian Flores because he's a wacko, and that's what they need. They need somebody with a mouth that talks. If you don't do the right thing, you're out. You're sitting on the bench or you're cut. One or the other. That's what they need. They're pampered. They're like a pampered crew. They come out and they go through the motions. They don't tackle anybody. They can't tackle. That's another thing. Who's coaching these guys? They can't even. These guys are running right through them. And he makes no adjustments. He didn't run blitz. He blitzed a couple of times last night. He was effective, but of course we didn't get to him. He escaped. But it's the same thing over and over again. They got to go. They all got to go. Everybody. I don't care who it is, and I don't want to hear about Aaron Rodgers anymore. I gave him his shot. I thought he'd be good. I think he could be good if he had a steel wall in front of him. But it's not working. It's definitely not working. So we have to go in a different direction. They're not winning anything. And I don't care if they beat New England. I don't care if they're not going to beat you. They're not going to beat any team that's halfway decent. Impossible. Not with this coaching staff. They have no scheme. What's the game plan here? What are we going to do? There's no thought into. It looks to me like they just go. I don't know what they practice. I really don't. I'm confused by it. They've really. I've never seen a team this disoriented or this bad with this kind of talent. It's ludicrous. I could run this team better than them. I'm telling you, I could run this team better than them. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're totally out of line. Totally out of line. I swear to God, if half the stuff that they did, I would cut the guy the next day. Berline missed a field goal, you're out. Clemens, you missed another tackle, you're out. That's it. Cut them. Get them out. You can't be nice to these guys. They all want that big bag of money. They all walk around. They're going to the Hall of Fame. They haven't done nothing. Breece Hall's done nothing. Sauce Gardner's done nothing. Garrett Wilson's done nothing. And they're all going to go be in the Hall of Fame according to One Jets Drive. They're all great. I think they all suck. That's what I really think. I think they all suck. They're all overrated. And they've all done absolutely nothing but annihilate this fan base. That's what they've done.
Tell us how you really feel, Peter.
That's how I really feel. If you knew how I would love to go on the sideline and talk to them. They are so out of line. It's beyond belief. And nobody says nothing. Yolbrek is not a head coach. He has no clue. He's on the side. He's trying.
What do you mean? He did this last night.
Let's not drop the challenge flag.
What a moment that was. All right, great call, Peter. Let's go Yankees. All right. Someone said Peter Castro looks like Joe Torre. I started laughing when I saw that in the chat. I think Joe Torre coach of the Jets right now. Jeez. AD says, Mahomes, 8 touchdowns, 6 picks. Stop blaming Rodgers' team is soft. Mahomes actually leads the NFL in interceptions. He has 8 interceptions, only 6 touchdowns. You got it backwards. And they haven't lost. God, being a Chiefs fan, I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine how great that is. Your quarterback leads the NFL in picks. You haven't lost a game. Imagine. Kyle, if Bo Dudley can return kicks, I'm intrigued. 25. Rex Ryan shows more pride and passion on TV. This fan base shows more pride and passion than anyone associated with the Jets. A bunch of you have called in. Just a heads up, I won't be able to get to all of you. I have a radio appearance I'm doing at 12. So that's why I wasn't advertising the call-in link, because I was honoring the people who were on hold at the beginning. So I will try and get to as many as I can before 12 o'clock today. 12 o'clock Eastern. You can help me out, though, by hitting the like button if you're one of the 1,800 in here and subscribing to the channel. Trying to get to 40,000 subs. Jet fans, I am your therapist. You guys are mine. We're in this together. Pluto says, what's the call-in link? I already got you there, Pluto. Scott Foster. Peter, you can't even send a correct super chat. Leave Peter Castro alone, man. He's the reason why Alan Lazards were one of the few bright spots this year. That $500 super chat back in June. Mike D's Nuts says, can they please flex our games, for God's sakes? Dude, I will pay money for the Jets to not have to play in primetime anymore. I can't do it anymore. When the schedule comes out next year, bury me in the 1 o'clock window. All right? I'm good. I can't do it. Let's say hello to Marcus. He's next. Hey, Marcus.
Jake. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the Steelers game. I'm not going to talk about, where we are in the season or anything like that. I think there's a couple of points I want to get your thoughts on. So I think that the New York Jets, it's fair to say, let's make no mistake here, they have the best body of fans in the whole world out of any sport, any league, NFL, ice hockey, baseball, football, chicken fighting, whatever. You're not going to find a better body of fans. And yet every single year, without fail, they decide to treat us this way. Every single year, it's just constant misery and failure. I mean, it's actually criminal. And I think it's spot on when people say, like, they don't deserve the support they get this team. Like, genuinely, they don't deserve it at all. Just the same thing every year, the same stuff. And look, there's a lot of stuff in the air about Rodgers as well. Like, look, I get it. The guy's playing inconsistent, but he's not washed. I don't think it's fair to say that that he's past being a decent quarterback. I don't think that's accurate. What I will say is that I think that he looks in the press conferences, like the last night of the Steelers one, like you can tell the guy he's obviously agitated. I think he's obviously banged up. Obviously, he's taken a lot of hits this year, and I think that it wouldn't be far fetched to say, look, at the end of the year, if it continues going the way it does, he might just call it quits and retire. I don't think that's far fetched to say. And then we're really back to square one with going back to trying to draft someone or whatever we decide to do then. And it's crazy as well, because like a lot of fans are saying that Rodgers is done, and you kind of understand. A lot of them aren't Jet fans. They're just they're not watching the Jets. But I've actually seen like even Jet fans saying the guy's washed. But it's like, well, what's the alternative? What, Tyrod Taylor, Adrian Martinez? Like, what do you want us to do? Like, Rodgers is going to play the rest of the season, obviously, as long as he stays healthy. Like, what else do you want? Like, we can't turn to anyone else.
Yeah, I don't think he's washed. He's obviously not what he once was. I think you see the moments of the old Rodgers, and then he's been hit. He's obviously not 100% with the ankle, so his mobility is not even what it was, week 2 and 3 when I thought he was moving around really well, especially in that Patriot game. I mean, how many off-script plays did he create by body? Like, he looked like MVP Rodgers that night, and that was the best it's been, because then he took a beating in the Denver game, and he hasn't looked right from a mobility standpoint since. Yeah. It's not just him, man. The problems run so much deeper than that. They've lost 2 games this year because their kicker can't hit anything. Brees cost them a game by not scoring a touchdown. Garrett's contributed to some losses this year. Sauce contributed to your best players need to be your best players. Tyron Smith wiped away a touchdown last week. They could have won them the game. Like, we could go down the line. It's really everything. It's also some poor luck, right? They haven't had an injury on defense the last 2 years. Now they're completely decimated. It's just it's everything, man. The quarterback's supposed to be able to elevate them, and I still think Rodgers is competent, But he's not
Yeah,
an MVP level player. But the whole premise of the year was he wasn't supposed to be. That's the
Well,
problem.
you just like you say, it's the same thing as last year. Like all you need is league average QB play, and he can definitely provide that, if not more. I mean, he looked wicked against the Bills. I mean, obviously, like you say, he's been inconsistent, but he's most of the games he's given us a chance to win. But like I said, like, well, what is the plan B? What, you want to see Tyrod Taylor out there? Like it's just ludicrous.
It wouldn't make a difference. Yeah, it wouldn't make a
Exactly.
difference.
Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. And the last thing I would say is I don't know if it's just because I'm so sleep deprived, or if the Jets have generally just driven me to insanity. But like, there's the one positive I see from this is what there's 10 games left. If this team was going to be anywhere near as close to being the team we thought they were, at least they've got 10 games to show something left. Like, I'm not saying they're going to do anything here, but at least we'll have closure by the end of the year. And at least we can say, you know what, we did the full Aaron Rodgers experiment and we gave it a fair crack, and this is what happened. At least we'll have an answer, if that makes sense. At least there'll be some sort of closure to it. I know, obviously, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs by any stretch of the imagination, but at least we can say that we gave it a crack, because we've just had that cycle for years now. Draft the first round QB, they suck after 3 years, get rid of them, draft another quarterback. Like, we had to try something different at this rate. But yeah, I mean, look, we got the Patriots next week. I mean, you can't even write them off. Like, we could legitimately lose to any team in this league. Like, we can't say with confidence that we can beat anyone right now. But yeah, hang tough. But that was it. It's just, yeah, another great performance by our beloved team, right?
Marcus, I'm sorry you had to stay up late and watch this nonsense, man. Great call. Look, the problem is, there's 10 games left, man. So it's just more misery headed. It just, if you want to start to believe, I mean, win against New England and then, go one game at a time. They're going to have to now win a couple games that no one's picturing them winning. Right now, it's hard to picture them winning any games. They're not going to finish with 2 wins, so they will win some games here. But, I mean, there's nothing to be said. Until this team, my rule is until this team wins 3 in a row, we're not talking about them. They're not a serious team right now. They're not. They could beat New England, great. What does that mean? It means you're 3-5. Go beat Houston, and then have 10 days to get ready for the Cardinals, and we could talk about it. But it's like it's just they're so flawed, man. They're soft. They're soft. If you want to believe, last time they won the division, they were 2-5. But I mean, it's just tough to picture anything right now. It's just they're rudderless, man. Poorly coached. The strengths of the team a year ago have been decimated. Joe Douglas destroyed this defensive line. Also had tough luck with Jermaine going down. And I think he really saw it in the second half last. They just had too many injuries in the secondary. They never had a great pass rush to begin with. McDonald had a nice night. He had a bunch of pressures, had a sack. He's been great, but it's not enough. Last night in the secondary, you have Sauce, and then after that, you're down corner 2, corner 3, both starting safeties, your immediate backup strong safety. You're playing practice squad level players in your secondary last night. And look, we love Brandon Echols. We saw what happens when he has to play a full game. He gets exposed. Guys are typically backups for a reason. Ashton Davis, really good as a backup. He's got to play. He stinks. That's typically what happens. Guys get exposed. And they were healthy for 2 years with that defense. And this year, they didn't have that same injury luck. So, and last night in particular, what kills me is you're up 15-6. It's a night where you need your offense to carry the load. You added Devontae Adams to give that side of the ball a boost. And you put up 15 points. And you got punched in the mouth, and you were made of glass, and you completely fell apart. I know it's easy to kill the defense. They are decimated right now. You need your offense to show a pulse. Step up. And after you built a 2-score lead with the defense playing well, you then threw a brutal pick by Rodgers at the end of the first half, and Garrett Wilson, with a ball that hits his shoulder pads, can't use his hands to catch a pass. 14 points just like that because of those 2 plays. And then this team is soft. They get punched in the mouth, and they completely fall apart. And it's everyone, man. It's every unit of the team. It's every player. It's every coach. It's horrible. Black Gypsy's next. Hello, Black Gypsy.
Yo, Jake. So I have a story for you, right? My girl lives in Germany. She became a Jets fan because of me last year. Between last year and this year, after last night game, she's like, I'm no longer a Jets fan. They are not a football team. She was making jokes saying high school teams could beat us. What's crazy about this year that I just think is nuts is the fact that Smith missed every tackle yesterday. He one tackle. He did one tackle on the offensive line where he actually did his job. For the rest of the game, he got beat. He got beat the whole fucking game, bro.
I think they need to play Olu at left tackle. Yeah, because
They
you're 2
do.
5. You drafted this kid 11th
Yeah.
overall, put him out there. Tyron Smith can't run block. He was okay in pass protection, right? I mean, there was only one play where I saw him really get beat, but I just saw Fialco posted a little film on his Twitter account. And like it was a running play where Tyron Smith just completely whiffs on a guy, and it leads to Braylon Allen getting stopped for no gain. And AVT got hurt on the play too. So it's horrible.
So here's the question I have to ask, right? Because I've been a Jets fan forever. Right now, we're 2-5. We can get rid of the stress of, oh, we're a good team, because we're not a good team. We're a shit franchise. Like, we just have to say it. Like, there's Cleveland and then there's us. Like, we're a shit franchise, bro. I don't understand what the luck is, because for that ball to hit Wilson the way it hit him, and then I literally was like, yeah, it's juju, bro. Like, we have bad juju, bro.
No, it's
Jonathan
insane. And how about, and to your point, how about, look, it ended up not mattering because the Jets are soft and they got boat raced. How about some of these ridiculous catches the Pittsburgh players are making? Freiermuth, Pickens, just one-handed. Like, how, man? Like, it's just a Jet never makes those plays, but Pittsburgh somehow does.
The last time I saw that is when we had the two big guys with Fitzgerald, Edwards and what was it?
You're
Marshall.
talking about Decker and Brandon Marshall with Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Decker and Marshall. That's the last time I saw us make good catches as a receiving team. Last thing I gotta say is I am no longer rooting for this team. I am rooting for you for the rest of the season. This is way better than watching Jets games, dog. Like, the actual games are frustrating as fuck to watch. The replies after and the build up for the week before the game is the best part of our games. Our games are actually the worst things to watch on fucking Sunday and Monday, bro. The show and the people talking about that's the best part. Like, so for now, I have no pressure on the team. Whatever the fuck they do, they do. We're the Jets. All right? Go Jets.
Well, Chips, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean, the people that support this show, you guys know I love all of you. I wish it was better, man. I really thought this team was going to be good this year. I really did. Like, I thought their floor was 9 or 10 wins. Their floor. I couldn't. It was inconceivable for me to watch this team win 7 games the last 2 years with the level of quarterback play they had and somehow think they were going to be worse this year. Like, okay, maybe they weren't going to win the Super Bowl, right? But they were going to give us a fun year. We were going to play meaningful games in January. We were going to end this playoff drought, which to me would have been worth it, right? Oh, you brought Rodgers to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, sure. But we also brought Rodgers here to have a winning season, for these young guys to experience winning, for these guys to get a taste of what the playoffs is like, to get the stigma of, oh, you're the Jets, you're never going to win. And it's as bad as it's ever been, if not worse, because of the expectations and the wait time for seeing this play out. Knob Deep writes in, I'm convinced that Woody will move the Jets to London and only then they'll start winning after I've disowned them. I mean, the poor people of London, they gotta get the Jets. And believe me, there's some great Jet fans there. All right, I got time for maybe 2 more calls. I'm going in order of who's been on hold. The longest here out of fairness. So, ladies and gentlemen, we give you a warning before this call.
Warning, warning, Allen alert. Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning, Allen alert. Hide the children.
Morning, Jacob. Had a long night, non-football related, but I thought I'd call in.
Everything okay?
Everything's fine, yeah. First of all, to Neil, going after me and bang in the chat, being negative, please, my advice, just stay silent today and the rest of the year. No more. We're done, okay? And to Leany, sometimes being tortured by me is not that bad. It actually helps your soul when you get tortured. Last night I tortured her in the fourth quarter. It was awful. Okay. couple of points about the game. First of all, I'm going to take my point a different direction. I'm going to refer to something I saw during the beginning of the day. So the Patriots were up 10-0, gave up 32 of the next 38 points against Jacksonville. And after the game, a coach in his 7th game absolutely destroyed his team, called them all soft, okay? While this team, after 56 games with Saleh, said nothing, made every excuse in the book. And it took Aaron Rodgers and Quincy Williams to open their mouths for this team to start to realize that this team is soft as shit. So kudos to Mayo for opening his mouth. Unfortunately, the Jets, it took them 3.5 years to realize that this franchise and these players are soft as shit. Okay? That's point one. Point two, I'm 50 years old. I'm not really a big analytics guy, but I keep on reading it. All I hear is, oh, we're the second best team on defense in analytics, okay? We can't stop the run. We never get to the quarterback consistently. And most of all, okay, I have never seen a team with the inability to turn people over. I watched the Lions yesterday. I watched Brian Branch all over the field, intercepting the ball, turning the ball off on fumbles. This team has the inability to turn people over. It's unbelievable. So please don't tell me that this is the number 2 defense in the league when they can't turn anybody over. And finally, to Joe Douglas, and I will take some blame on this as well. Maybe the talent on this team is not that good. Maybe it isn't. I keep hearing about Garrett Wilson, top 15 receiver. I don't know if he's even that. Sauce, very good cover corner, not a game changer. Okay? So maybe we overhyped the talent on this team. And I agree with you. I just don't think there's a lot of leaders on this team. Defensively, offensively. I mean, CJ Mosley is a leader, basically being a veteran. But I don't think there's anybody in this locker room that's going to just basically throw the locker room into craziness when we lose a game. Again, this team is soft. It's been soft for years. And I don't know what happens. I just think they need an overhaul. They need a guy to come into this building and basically tell them, you're not that good. Prove it to me.
Yeah.
And
I gotta run. I appreciate it. I got a radio hit I gotta do, so I gotta end the show. But I don't disagree with most of that. I mean, they're soft, man. They're rudderless. Everyone wants to blame the coaches. Blame the players. Blame the players, too. Players are the reason why they lost to Buffalo. Players are the reason why they came out and they blew it against the Vikings. Came out flat like that. It's coaching, too, but it's like, when do we hold the players accountable, man? Disgusting. Nate with the final super chat here. Imagine being a young left tackle, right tackle, quarterback to face the Jets. You never have to be concerned about blitz, stunts, confusion. Just block 72 every time. Not good enough. Scheme is not good enough. Scheme, coaching, leadership, all of it should be criticized right now. Thank you to Joe Benigno for joining us for the first hour. Hey, Joe B will be at our watch party on Sunday. Will the losing end? Jets, Pats, RSVP. If you want to hang out with us and commiserate all together. I promise it will be fun, even if the Jets' performance on the field is not. Thank you to everyone. I'm back at 4 p.m. Will Parkinson will join us in his weekly spot on the show. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're one of these still 1,600 people watching, thank you. I appreciate you. Like the video on your way out. We're in this together, Jet fans. Hang in there. When will the pain end? I have no idea. We'll be here every day until maybe one day it does.
Let's not drop the challenge flag.